I just hit 65 fishing to be able to fish Kawam-Wams, and I also have completed exactly 100. What's this?
It's a boss or a minigame.
Exactly 100 Tempoross kills. So, that left me with exactly nearly 300 rewards, which is pretty good. Some games I got 1, some games I got up to 4. It just really depends on if I was looking at the screen or not, you know, while working from home. So I'm just going to go ahead and loot this, give some live reaction, and do some commentary over top. But just some quick thoughts here about Tempoross. Probably not the best thing to AFK while working, because I feel like every time you go to look away, you immediately get hit by a tidal wave that knocks off like half your inventory. And annoyingly, if it knocks off your rope, you have to go get one. Otherwise, you're just going to end up in a cycle of constantly getting hit by tidal waves and losing stuff. But all in all, pretty solid method to get the 65 fishing. And why exactly did I do Tempoross? I probably could have went to fishing trawler first to get the angler outfit, but I did not do that. For no particular reason, just kind of forgot that that was a thing until I saw everybody having it, and then I was just too committed to to finishing this. So I'm mainly hoping for the fishing barrel to extend my fishing trips, but I'm also hoping for some alks as well, hopefully to get at least 100k to be able to go to the Rev Caves, and the Rev Caves will ideally be my moneymaker, probably for quite some time here. What else am I looking for? The Tome of Water would be nice. You can do a big search, which searches 5 rewards at once, but I worked for this. I want the dopamine. I'm going to search one by one, so I will be back to you guys if I get anything cool.
Collection log slot completed.
That always gets me. Okay, I lied. This loot is way too garbage to go one by one. I'll do the big searches. Okay, casket number 1. So these caskets are the things that are going to possibly have some rune items for us to alk, I think, raw cash, and also some jewelry as well. Got some nails here. Nails will be nice for construction. Oh, and planks. Yeah, planks are good too.
Collection log slot completed.
Well, I got the soaked pages. Soaked pages aren't a necessity from this minigame anymore now that we have Rural Titans. Rural Titans are another way to source pages now. Come on, baby. Come on. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe the caskets will be better. Well, looks like I just struck out everywhere. I don't know if, honestly, any of this is useful besides the ruby necklace for dig site teleports. Jades. Can't think off the top of my head. Opals, I mean, that can maybe make some bracelets of... expeditious bracelets, maybe? I don't know. Medium clue, easy clue. Let's see if I can even do this medium clue. Maybe this will be the one saving grace. Great, can't even do this clue. Alright, well, what a complete wash this was. Pretty appropriate for Tempoross. I really don't want to stay here any longer than I have to, but I probably will come back here intermittently to try to get the fishing barrel. Well, was hoping for a little bit of dopamine. Sorry, guys. Maybe there'll be better luck later in the episode. While I didn't get anything super useful for fishing from Tempoross, I did get some planks for construction, as well as fish for cooking. Now, a neat thing here is you can go to the plugin hub and download the Banked Experience plugin, and then click on this right here, Banked Experience, and you can actually see how much experience you have in your bank currently and what level you can get to. Very useful for when you know how much you have collected. And then you can look at other skills as well, so construction, so almost 30 via just the planks that I got. Pretty useful. Still have a long way to go with Herblore, but not stressing about that. So what I'm thinking I'm going to go do is go train some go train some stats because I want to get to 750 total level to be able to get to LMS, and LMS is going to unlock quite a few things. It's going to unlock a rune pouch to make my inventory more efficient, and then I'm going to be able to get adamant and rune arrows, which I want to get prior to training range and also prior to going to revenants, because I want to do as much damage as possible, and I want a ranged option to be able to anti-PK, so I don't get bullied just using melee and not able to fight back if they're far casting. And lastly, I can also use the rune and adamant arrows for alching for some extra money if the revenants don't work out, so it's always nice to be able to do that, or just to train magic. And then finally, being able to kill revenants and doing LMS, I can buy blighted supplies, and blighted supplies are very broken on an early account because that allows me to use blighted restores and food. So that means I won't need to actually be able to make my own potions or fish. While the fish and the food is not such a big deal, the potions are massive because I'm not even, 32 prayer, let alone whatever level it is to use super restores. So I'm definitely going to abuse that early and often to be able to train in the wilderness without having to train Herpler. Because as you can tell, I'm not super into skilling. I am much more of a PVM or so. Any sort of skilling grind I can kind of skip over by doing PVM. I am 100% going to do, and I'm only going to really train skills out of necessity or for unlocks. So yeah, figured I'd catch you guys up a little bit. Well, seeing as I didn't get anything useful from Tempoross, I decided to go get some more Eclipse Reds to get some gold here. And it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Getting those 200 were way better for some reason, so I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just happy to finally not be at Tempoross for 3 days straight. Waiting to get 65 fishing to do a little permit loot video just to get nothing. But 150k, which almost brings my bank value to $1 million, but not quite. One of the nice things about Tempoross, though, is I did get quite a few planks here and nails, and now that I have some coins, I will probably go do some early construction. I like having the house in Remington because it's a very convenient teleport to Port Sarim, and there's just no real, no real nice ways to get to Port Sarim, I feel like. Otherwise, you run from Lumbridge, right? But having a house here is nice because you have access to Remington, Port Sarim, and mainly just so I can get access to charter ships and then kind of move around the map here. Also having access to Remington here, this is where your house portal is. You also can get to Ardoyne and Brimhaven. So you can take the charter ship to Ardy, and that's a pretty quick way to get there before you actually have a teleport. So I don't know if there's a better setup, but that's kind of what I'm just doing. So I might keep the house here. Otherwise, the only other place I would move the house is to Zaya, and that's just so I can have the house teleport right here and to be able to do sand crabs. But with the new gemstone crab and also the Zaya teleports, I'm not sure if that's even that valuable to me. But yeah, just wanted to do that. I actually got the Ava's Attractor, which turns into the Ava's Accumulator, or I guess you can trade one in at 50 range. But that'll be the first backpack in the line as far as ranged capes are concerned. So that's nice, and that'll help pick up arrows, so I don't have to manually pick them up. And I am so thankful to have that out the way. And the way that I prepped for doing Ava's Accumulator and getting Animal Magnetism completed is I did the Museum mini quest, which is in Varrock. And then by helping the guy who doesn't know how to do his job, you can get 9 Slayer, 9 Hunter. So you skip some early levels there. And then I did a porcelain of interest. Let's see how you pronounce this. A porcelain of interest? I don't know. Did that. That got me to 15 Slayer. Got you some Slayer points. I then finished up 18 Slayer via Wilderness Slayer because I just think it's fun. I then completed Priest in Peril, which actually was better than I thought, because with the agility rework, you can actually run from Varrock to there without running out of run energy, and I'm only 4 agility, so before you for sure would have ran out halfway. So that was pretty nice. Just carry, 25 pure essence roughly each time you go, just to kind of save yourself a trip. It wasn't too bad. After completing Priest in Peril, I bought meat from the shop in Canifis, and that Canifis shop actually has all 4 meat required to complete Druidic Ritual, so I was actually waiting to do that just so I didn't have to go out and collect each manually, but it's just personal preference there, so I completed that. And then that we have access to Canifis, we have access to Port Ghost Town. I'm not going to try to pronounce that right now without looking. Well, I probably could have said that one. Port Phasmatis. To be able to do animal magnetism. And then we actually have access to the Ectofunctus to get the Ecto tokens, which we're going to need for animal magnetism. You can go run all the way down to collect buckets of slime, but also you can buy buckets of slime from the charter ship. So I went ahead and did that. And then I just rounded out and completed animal magnetism. I got, so prior to that, I completed Monk's Friend to get to 15 woodcutting quickly to skip the early woodcutting grind. I then went and did Forestry. Forestry was actually a lot faster than I thought to get to 35 woodcutting. That's because when you're doing Forestry, you get a +1 invisible woodcutting boost per person. And if you go to a Forestry world, there's plenty of people. So that's an invisible 10 boost. So much faster than I thought. Then I went to Auburn Vale to get the Mithril Axe, so I didn't have to kill monsters for that. The only real way to do that is I think kill dragons or kill the tree spirits. You need quests for that, so I just kind of skipped over that. So I went to Auburnville, so that's nice. That's a new addition. And then I completed Animal Magnetism after I got the 30 ranged required. And so now that we have the range level, we have the Ava's Attractor. We got some prayer. I grabbed some prayer robes from the monastery while we were there blessing the unblessed symbol. I was then basically set up to AFK sand crabs, granted with kind of bad arrows, so I'm actually waiting to go back there to be able to use adamant or rune after I do the LMS grind. And then, what else did I do? I did fire making. You can skip the early fire making grind by just getting normal logs. These normal logs spawn on top of the lumber's castle. And because we're not going to be woodcutting the normal logs, you can just go there and collect them. You can also do that for fletching, so I just did that to get some of my early game fletching and fire making out the way. And then finally, what was my fishing path to get to Tempoross? I fished shrimp in Lumbridge to 10 fishing. I then went ahead and completed the fishing contest just to get some experience to skip. I think it got me to maybe 18 fishing, something like that. And then from there, you can optionally go to the fishing trawler to get the angler's outfit. In the meantime, on your way to 35 fishing for Tempoross, or you can just go fly fishing. I did not get the angler's outfit because I kind of forgot and just didn't feel like it. And then I went to Tempoross until 65, which got me about 300 permits. And unfortunately, spoiler alert, I did not get the barrel. I also waited until I got to at least 50 fishing to turn in those permits because that's when you get a boost in the loot. As you unlock the fish, you can then receive those as a reward from permits. So definitely worth waiting until you hit certain thresholds to use those points. So I think that more or less gets you guys entirely caught up to the behind-the-scenes grind, or whatever I failed to mention, as far as the Ava's Attractor grind goes. And let's not forget the most important part of this grind. You guys. Seeing everyone commenting already makes me smile every time I get to respond. If you want to support me even further, consider subscribing or dropping a like if you found this content enjoyable. If you didn't like it, go ahead and catch me in the wilderness.